Hey, I'm Hal Chambers, Assistant Director at the RSC. Today we're going to be talking about Act 1, Scene 3 of Macbeth. It's one of my favourite scenes in Shakespeare. It's full of atmosphere, it's scary, and it's obviously got the famous prophecies in it. We're going to be looking at how the two soldiers, Macbeth and Banquo, react differently to the prophecies from the witches. Perhaps the best way of doing this is to create two lists. One with Banquo's reactions throughout the scene and one with Macbeth's. By doing this, it will throw into sharp contrasts their differing reactions. So let's just set the scene. Macbeth and Banquo are coming back from a battle. They're walking across a blasted heath. It's wet and it's foggy and it is a foul day. And they see these three strange figures emerging through the fog. So who are these witches? Well, the only way we really know what they might look like and what they might be like are through Shakespeare's descriptions. Banquo describes what he sees. What are these so withered and wild in their attire? They look not like the inhabitants of the earth. They have choppy fingers. Ugh. They've got skinny lips. And their clothes, man, they're withered and wild in their attire. So how does Macbeth react to this prophecy? Well, he doesn't initially say much at all. He's very, very quiet. Banquo describes his reaction. "Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair?" When Banquo hears the prophecies from the witches that he will be the father of kings, it is he that then goes quiet. And it is Macbeth who starts speaking up, questioning the witches. To be king stands not in the prospect of belief. And then he goes on the attack. He asks them where they get their intel, and he even asks where they're from, what they're doing here on this blasted heath. He charges them to speak, and at that point, whoosh, they vanish. And after the witches are gone, they're both pretty dumbstruck. Banquo asks if they've eaten on the insane root. And very interestingly, Macbeth mutters, "I would they had stayed." Perhaps he wanted to know even more. So, two soldiers reacting in very different ways. So now we move on to the next part of our exercise. So now it's over to you. You're going to create a one-page comic book / graphic novel of this scene. You can write in thought bubbles, you can write in speech bubbles, you can write in little captions. It's really up to you. You must include the witches' prophecies and to sharply show the different reactions of Macbeth and Banquo. Getting into the visuals of Shakespeare is always really, really helpful. I know as a director, when I'm reading it, I'm always imagining what the world looks like. And doing an exercise like this really helps you get into the texture of the world, what it looks like, what it might feel like, what the emotions might be like to be within that world. With a little bit of help from my wife, we have done our own version of this. What we want you to really bring out in these drawings is who is more interested in the witches' words, and how does Shakespeare show this? So it's a chance to be super creative and create the Macbeths, Banquos and witches that are right here in your mind. How scary and atmospheric can you make this scene? You might just want to sketch in black and white or use as much colour as you want. For me, Macbeth is one of the best plays in Shakespeare's canon. It's an absolute thriller, as it's got some incredible characters and it's really, really, really scary. And I remember being scared of it when I was in my teenage years, and having directed it recently, I tell you what, it really asks those big questions about how dark the human soul can get.